Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Let's start our video with a story about an insufferable roommate who makes our OP unhappy, revenge involved. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Stop trying to help you avoid a ticket? Got it. So I've lived with a horrible roommate who hates my guts for over a year now. Usually I just stay in my room to avoid her because there's not a confrontational bone in my body. But she still finds nice little ways to make life miserable. We'll call her N. N has always enjoyed fun roommate activities like not doing dishes for months at a time. I was blamed for every dish, so I switched to disposable plates. Haven't used actual cutlery in months, so it's all her. Never paying bills on time, then getting mad at us for pestering her about them, and getting mad at pretty much anything else we do. Now for a little backstory. Anne has two huge German Shepherds who are loud, aggressive, and stay in the backyard almost every night while she's out partying. Our neighbors have a young kid who's woken up by the loud barking, so we've had the cops called on us 4 times already for noise complaints. I also have a dog, Border Collie, but she stays in my room for most of the day because I'm only ever gone for a few hours at a time. The last time the cops were called, I was home and the officer let it go with a warning but said next time there will be a ticket. Fast forward 2 months. Anne is dog sitting for a friend. We now have 5 big dogs in our tiny house, and these dogs are even more barky, which only riles up her 2 even more. She's left them outside for the past 2 nights, and when she goes to bed, they sit outside my window, howling their butts off until 3 a.m. until I finally let them out in fear for a ticket. Finally, I've had enough, so I let the dogs in again and politely asked that they be kept inside overnight because we're going to get a ticket. And she loses it. She fires back a 2-paragraph text about how it's somehow my fault that my dog barks 24 hours a day. Anyway, not true. And I need to immediately let them back outside, and she isn't worried about cops. Okay. Like any good roommate would, I release the hellhounds into the backyard, and they immediately go ape crap. Then I grab my purse and book it out of there to stay with a friend for the night. Came back the next day, and surprise, the neighbor called the cops, and N received a beautiful $350 citation. She's pissed. It feels so good. I think I'll do it a few more times. Hell, I'll call the police myself after I leave. And our second story. Entitled B is too good for her job, so she half-butts every position until she gets fired. So I work at a cabinet and door shop. I do a little of everything, but my primary job is drafting the cabinet layouts, placing orders, and helping with the coordination of all the projects. I've been at this place for about 7 years now, starting as a very basic assistant and working myself up to what I do now. I've seen employees come and go, but this particular girl was really something, and her father, which still works here, clearly holds a grudge. This girl would carry an indignant attitude towards everything she was given. She's a recent immigrant who speaks passable English but has no education or skills, and this was her only connection. The owner was hesitant, but gave her a shot because she needed it. I was in a similar situation, and I knew this position was a godsend. Not her. Coworkers would complain about how asking her for anything that was literally her job turned into some petty argument. Anything as simple as asking her to print a construction plan was a huge hassle if you asked her to do anything more than press print. Will not find it on the server, will not find the latest version, will not print a specific page. She went through several positions until she was given phone duties. That's where I started interacting more with her. Our main receptionist had been let go, and the company didn't seem in too much of a hurry to hire a new one. To my annoyance, they asked me to pick up half the phone duties until they found someone else. Half day for me and half day for her. Fine. I did it with the same effort I put into anything else I do. However, she repeatedly tried to flirt with me to get me to do things for her. When someone called and there was no one on the other end for her to transfer the call, she'd call me to hunt them down. When she needed an answer from someone, she would ask me to hunt them down. Hey, somebody's looking for Luis, but I can't find him. Could you find him? With a voice like a child. Now, I wouldn't hesitate to hunt someone down on my turn, nor do I mind doing favors for anyone, but these requests were audacious to say the least. Why she thought I would jump at the chance to drop what I was doing to do her job is beyond me. Unlike her, I had deadlines and am constantly trying to keep my head above paperwork. I would refuse as neutral as I could and get a snarky and aggressive "wow, thanks" every time. One day I went out to a job site to measure the kitchens for my drawings, and my phone was annoying my boss in our office, so he turned it off because I'd let him know I couldn't answer it while I was out anyway. Well, my boss forgot to tell me the next day, so I didn't pick up any calls during my turn because the phone had been turned off without me knowing. This girl storms up to my office to scold me for not answering the phone with the angry familiarity of a effing girlfriend catching her boyfriend cheating, ponytail bobbing in anger and all. Eventually, she was let go, but her father, who still works here, is constantly squeezing as much petty revenge as he can with the little interaction we have. The other day, the owner told me he'd asked this girl's dad to print me a plan for a new job. I never got it, so I call him and ask, and he says, "I already printed one for him." I tell him we usually get our copy. He says, "I already printed one for him, so ask him. It's your problem." This effing guy. Not sure if he thinks he's giving me a taste of my own medicine by refusing to do this job when I was refusing to do hers. Will he have the same future as his daughter? We will see. And our last story. Always clear your memory card before pawning an item. Basically, a lady we'll call Charlotte, for reasons made clear at the end, spent a year helping her best friend Zoe harass my family and I over a custody dispute. Charlotte wasn't related to the family at all, just a friend with an affinity for causing drama. She would make fake profiles along with Zoe and tried to fish information about us out of friends and family. Just some real nasty stuff. Charlotte would take the online harassment further than Zoe, which never made any sense to me because I never had a personal problem with Charlotte. We'd known each other back in grade school and were even casual friends. She used our past history to try to weasel into my friends list, but I already saw that she was helping Zoe slander my name online and didn't buy into her malarkey. She then started copying my display pictures and making them into ugly memes. Any post I made public was instantly captured and mocked on her stepmother's support page. Charlotte was dating the best friend of Zoe's husband. Her boyfriend had a daughter from a previous relationship, and Charlotte was a proud and attentive stepmother. Most of her identity revolved around being a stepmother. The page on which she posted the memes she made and posts she stole had been running for a number of years and had nearly 10,000 members. She created it herself. She and Zoe also started a handful of other pages for the sole purpose of harassing and mocking us. A couple I had to have legally removed. Police were involved in everything. This had been going on since before March, and for Christmas that year, my wife's grandmother got each of the great-grandkids a 3DS. To save some money, she went to a pawn shop for some gently used consoles and games. This is where karma had dealt us a sweet hand. Nana had purchased 4 3DS in total. The one my daughter just happened to get had a memory card inside full of photos. Upon a quick scan, I realized the people looked familiar. It was Charlotte and her boyfriend. Over and over, dozens of photos, some a little racy. Why else would I be given this opportunity? Of course I was meant to use them, right? I immediately got to work uploading every photo and file and set up a fake email account with bits of information to make it look like hers. I joined any and all free dating sites I could think of, even downloading some apps that aren't advertised as dating, but we all know what they're used for. In short, I plastered her selfies everywhere. I refrained from using the inappropriate ones because I just didn't feel right about that. Implied loose morals was as far as I wanted to take it. I answered a couple of messages on each site to make it look more authentic, even sharing more innocent enough selfies to prove I was the real deal. A while ago, I'd come across Charlotte's cell number online. She had shared it in a public comment, and I was in the process of screen capping any post she made about my family. I had screen capped that comment too, and hadn't done anything with it. I was just gathering and retaining all the information I could, and my patience was about to pay off. After giving a few guys the number, I didn't bother logging on anymore. That was enough damage, I thought. It'd be easy enough for her to prove she'd never visited those sites, and they should be able to recognize the photos as being taken with the crappy lens of an early 3DS. But then the other boot dropped. After a few weeks, maybe a month, I go snooping on Charlotte's stepmother's support page to see if she had anything to say about my antics. but it was quiet. Weird. I check out her profile and find all her past posts have been hidden and the boyfriend scrubbed of all photos available. When I check out his profile, there's a big, gigantic rant about unfaithful bees. Oops. Turns out Charlotte had been sleeping with her boyfriend's best friend, the guy Zoe was married to's older brother. It had been going on for some time, and no one knew anything, not even Zoe. If the boyfriend hadn't confronted her about the random texts she was getting from horny guys, he never would have seen the other texts that were cleverly disguised to hide the affair. Being a self-proclaimed stay-at-home stepmom, he had visitation every other weekend and 2 weeks in the summer. Charlotte had no interest in holding a job. The boyfriend owned and paid for everything, including her cell phone. When he found out about the affair, he kicked her out of the house and took her phone. He pawned all of it to pay off some of the enormous debt she'd put him in. The reason the 3DS was in the pawn shop at all was because he needed some extra cash. It was his 3DS, and he had pawned it for some money for a present for her. He wasn't able to pay it back in time, and the shop owner resold the item. That's why the memory card wasn't wiped or anything. I'd say it was meant to be. Damn, that's savage and beautiful. Well done, taking the universe's sign. It's just a masterpiece. Great job, OP. Hey, thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.